And that's why I think this United story and the DEI story hits so hard, because we've all been in the back of a plane when the turbulence hits, or when you're flying through a storm and you're like, I'm so glad I saw the guy with the right stuff and the square jaw get into the cockpit before we took off. And I feel better now thinking about that. No, I mean, like,
you want to go thought crime? Like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Well, that's the you wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have. You wouldn't have done that before.
That's not an immediate.
No, you wouldn't have done that before.
That's not who I am. That's not what I believe.
It is the reality the left has created.
And you already know, on this channel, we hold racist Caucasian people accountable, because if we don't, who will? And before we start this video, if you don't like black people, black issues, black talks, get to stepping. Charles Frederick Page was a self-taught inventor born to slavery in 1864 in Pineville, Louisiana, who overcame enormous systematic obstacles to pursue innovation. Despite having no formal education, Page studied science independently and developed a design for a bi-balloon airship, a lighter-than-air flying machine. In 1903, he filed a patent for this invention, just weeks after the Wright brothers filed theirs for a heavier-than-air aircraft. Page's airship patent was officially granted in April 1906, slightly before the Wright brothers' patent. He invested his life savings into building a prototype, which he attempted to showcase at the 1904 World's Fair, but the model was reportedly lost or stolen en route. A devastating blow that left him disheartened. Make that make sense. And guess what? He was never supported. The media never showed this. Matter of fact, I went to school in Louisiana. He's from Pineville, Louisiana. We never heard about this. All we heard about was the Wright brothers. We never knew it was a black man that patented all of this before the Wright brothers. But see, you have to realize something. Racist Caucasian people, they have always did little things to hold black people back. Tell me I'm lying. And this dude said when he sees a black pilot, he hoped that he's qualified. Well, guess what, Mr. Charlie Kirk? 9 times out of 10, when a black person is overqualified, y'all still do little things to hold them back. Y'all still do whatever it takes so black people won't take over. Well, Charlie, you was wrong. Every time I see a black pilot, I'm comfortable, because I know they had to be 10 times better than everybody else. When they was in training, they had to be 10 times better. So I feel comfortable when I see a black pilot. Matter of fact, run a tape.
I know I'm somebody and I have a job to do, and I'm willing to take care of it and do what I have to do to get to the next level.
Meet Joshman Cook. He doesn't look like your typical pilot.
Dreams, man. Hey, all I got is a wing and a prayer.
This video of Cook gained over 30,000 likes. With a mixture of negative and positive comments, Cook says he uses it as fuel to fly higher.
I just know that I got a lot of eyes on me, and I just try to make everything count and be positive while I'm doing it. But at the end of the day, I'm still human.
Cook enrolled into flight school 2 years ago, but his journey started long before the cockpit.
I grew up in state custody. I'm a foster kid, so that's just a rundown. And I know they got a lot of kids in the system that's facing the same thing that I went through.
And like I'm always saying, make that make sense. And look, I said this in another video. You can go to any job in America. It's always a black person that taught everybody everything. It's always a black person that trained everybody. It's always a black person on the job that knows everything, with or without a degree, with or without a diploma. They still know everything. So we can go back to Charles Page, the original. He had no formal education, but he still was the first one to patent everything. See, they don't want black pilots to take over. So that's why they keep it at 5%. That's why they keep it at 6%, because they know once we learn anything, we transcend everything. I'm going to say that again. Once we learn anything, we transcend everything. Tell me I'm lying. But I want to go back to what Joshua said in that video earlier. Check this out. And this article is by WBRZ2 News. He said, I just know that I got a lot of eyes on me, and I'm trying to make everything count and be positive while I'm doing it. But at the end of the day, I'm only human. I grew up in state custody, a foster kid. I know they got a lot of kids in the system. They're facing the same thing that I went through. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, less than 5% of pilots are black. Cook said he's looking to help increase that number. Make that make sense. And see, look, when black people take their career seriously and they really passionate about it, they always overqualify. But you have people that think like this dude and they use those hateful words. And look, they only use hateful words towards black people because they want to have space in your mind. They want you to wake up thinking about them. They want you to go to bed thinking about them. They want you to always think about the negative things they say about you. So that's why they'll force their insecurities on us. That's why they'll force their jealousy on us. And that's why you will see 300K black women being laid off. That's why you will see Trump got to send the National Guard to these black cities when the crime is already down. He got to send National Guard to these black cities so they can provoke black men and lock them up. And the crime is already down. Make it make sense. And look, they chose Charlie Kirk to go to these colleges, to go to these debates, to spread racism. They want that old MAGA, Make America Great Again racism to go from each generation. They want to pass it down. They want to indoctrinate and brainwash these kids, but it didn't work. Tell me I'm lying. Historical barriers and exclusion. For much of aviation history, black individuals were excluded from flight training programs, military pilot roles, and commercial aviation jobs due to segregation laws, discriminatory policies, and overt racism. During World War II, the Tuskegee Airmen, the first black military aviators in the U.S., had to fight not only the enemy abroad, but also racism at home. Their existence was a direct response to the belief that black people were intellectually or emotionally unfit to fly, even after proving themselves in combat. They faced major barriers transitioning into commercial aviation due to discriminatory hiring practices. Make that make sense. And how ironic, Charlie Kirk never talked about these facts at his debates. And the cold part is, these people really think they earned something. These people really think they really got it out the mud. But the whole time, they created laws to hold black people back. They did little sneaky shit to hold black people back. Tell me I'm lying. And look, it's 2025. Our airmen back then had to fight racism in their own states. They had to go to war and come back home and fight racism in their own goddamn country. And in 2025, you got dudes like this, grown-ass men having debates on college campuses with kids. He not fighting. He never in the hood. He not talking to single mothers. He not talking to black fathers. He not talking to anyone in the black community. He's debating. A grown-ass man debating, that's all he doing. So I'm not allowing this, not on my watch. I'm not letting nothing slide. And before I go, I have to say this. Shout out to all my black pilots, but I finally figured it out. I finally see why they still hate us in 2025. So you have to realize something. These people had a head start of 400 years. They had a 400-year head start on us. And somehow black Americans are running circles around them and it scares them. So that's why they have to lay off 300K black women. That's why they have to send the National Guard to these black cities to provoke black men and send them to prison. So you have to realize something. Every time there's some progress in the black community, they do whatever it takes to keep us back. They do whatever it takes to hold us down. But it's a new day and age. We realize everything. We see everything. See, they want a civil war, but we're sitting back watching them war amongst each other. It's too late and we ain't letting nothing slide. It's a new day and age, and this only the beginning. I'm out.
Hey y'all, you know what it is, man. Hey, follow your dreams, man. Hey, all I got is a wing and a prayer. So fly with me. You die first. Believe in anything that you want to do, go for it.